Hi everyone, welcome back to a new video. Thank you so much for joining me again. Today's video I'm going to be just talking about some of my pet peeves, because I have a lot of pet peeves, but more specifically I'm going to be talking about my environmental pet peeves. So I think these are pretty general, I don't know. Some people might be a little surprised by some of them, but this is for me personally. I mean, I get it if you do one of these things, but I don't get it at the same time. I think these are things that a lot of people do, but I think we need to be a little bit more aware of our actions. So, to get this started, number one is food waste. So, I hate food waste. It bothers me so much. Just yesterday, I went out to a restaurant, and I was getting, stressed out by the thought of any food at restaurants going to waste and how much gets thrown away. And just, I'm like, wait, they don't compost it? Why don't they do this and that? I was pretty surprised by that, to be honest, just thinking about it, because we don't see behind, unless we work in a restaurant, we don't see how much food gets thrown away, and I can only imagine it's a lot of food. So anyways, it's also kind of like when people have food and it's about to go bad. Love it when people eat food right before it goes bad. It's that satisfies me for some reason. Some people might find it still gross, but when people just let food go bad, when someone wants to eat something just because it's a little bit more fresh than the thing that's in the back of the fridge, that just bothers me. I'm like, just eat it and make a system, you know. I know I've experienced having no system with the food, and it's still hard when you have a family. You need to communicate who's gonna eat this, who's gonna eat that, and we need to make sure it's not getting thrown away. And when you're if you're cutting vegetables or trimming vegetables, okay, first of all, please trim your vegetables or fruits or whatever. If some people might look at something and if half of it's bad, they're gonna throw away the whole thing. Eat the other half. It's that's still edible. But yeah, if half of it is bad, don't eat the other half. Don't eat the bad half. That's what I'm saying. So, and as I've mentioned, I only started trying to live sustainably this past year, 2020. And yeah, so I definitely know what it's like to not have a system, to see food go to waste. And composting is great, it brings it back into the earth, but it's so much better to just eat the food, because, I mean, it's valuable, it's so valuable. Food itself is much more valuable than compost. And composting is great, but I'm just gonna say it is something we should take into consideration. We really do need to be conscious about everything that we do, conscious and intentional about everything we do. I think part of it is privilege, just living in America. For me, I mean, and I'm sure a lot of people watching this, the fact that you have free time to watch this channel is a privilege, you know, and have access to YouTube, it's a privilege. So we clearly have privilege, but I think we don't realize some of the food that we just toss away, other people would die for. Other people would kill for some of the food we don't want and care for. Alright guys, number two is water waste. This is another one. People who are not conscientious about how much water they are consuming, using, how many times they flush the toilet, what power their toilet flushes at, you know, or the shower head, or anything really. People who just don't care. I know, at my house, we collect a lot of the water that fills up in the sink, and then we go water a garden with it. Because why would you use fresh water for a garden when you can easily save up water? We create more than enough water for our garden. I couldn't imagine using fresh water anymore. And just people who let the water run. I thankfully, I'm grateful. I do not see this every day. If I had to watch someone let the water run 24/7, my whole family has gotten into the habit of turning off the sink, or whatever, you know. I did film a video not too long ago where my brother was letting the water run. That was partly for comedic reasons, but it's so true. When people leave the water running, I can't even. And that video will be linked in the iCard for anyone who wants to check it out. So speaking of gardens and plants and anything, my third pet peeve is lawns. So people who water their lawn, more specifically. No, I mean, I don't hate the people who water their lawn. When I say I hate people who water their lawn, I hate the action of watering your lawn. I don't hate any people just because they water their lawn. Oh my god. Their lawn, it's, what day is it? It's a Wednesday. I don't know, I feel like some people just use the day of the week as an excuse. It's a Wednesday, guys, you know. So I just feel like watering your lawn, it's like a waste of water. I don't know. It rains for a reason. Grass grows for a reason. Like, I do have one specific story. I was at a friend's house, and and we were out on her deck, and her sprinklers turned on, and I looked, up at the sprinkler. I looked up at the sky, and it was gray, and like I could tell there was a storm coming within the next day or two, if not like later that afternoon. And I said, "Why is your sprinkler on if it's gonna rain like tonight?" And she's like, "Oh, it's okay. The sprinkler's on. It's set on a timer. It doesn't really do anything." I'm like, "It's a waste of water." She did not care. She didn't turn it off. And this was before I started living more sustainably. But man, I mean, I'm grateful it was before that, because I would have screamed at her. I would have like kicked her, punched her. I don't know. I was really pissed. And that was before caring about the earth. I mean, I've always cared about my planet, but I was your not so focused human. I didn't care that much. Okay, coming up at number 4, we got people who leave the lights on. When you're in a room, please turn off the light. Like, is it that hard? I just don't get it. This one, I feel like it's similar to letting the water run. When people use electricity unproductively, for no use, just giving it away. We don't have an unlimited supply of electricity at all. It's a non-renewable resource, I think. I don't really know. I just get really aggravated with that one. I know, like, people, probably a lot of you guys watching this can just relate to chasing family members around the house, turning lights off after them. I do that with my whole family. I walk into a room, no one's in it, why is the light on? I will yell, "Why is the light on?" and no one answers. I don't know. But I know when I was a kid, before I would leave a light on in a room, and my dad would tell me to turn off the light, and so it took me a little while to get there, but I am there where I will like just talk to people. Like if I'm FaceTiming, if I'm eating dinner, I will eat in the dark. I will just be in the dark. I kind of like the dark more than the light, to be honest. Alright, number 5, our last one is littering. I feel like this is just the most obvious thing ever. If you like people who litter, I don't think anyone likes littering. I think people like to be lazy, but I don't know, like, why? Question mark. So, yeah, I just don't like littering. Litter plays a part, and affects so many things, in our environment, including wildlife, human health, our safety, and it's even a fire hazard. If you didn't know that, it is. And it just causes microplastics to go everywhere. It's so bad. I cannot stand litter. People don't always understand the bad effects of litter. A lot of people have like seen like trash islands in the ocean. Yes, that happens, but litter is so much more than that. It's awful. I mean, when I say wildlife, yeah, like the fish population is very affected. The sea life is affected. But I mean, any life really. Like dogs don't know what to eat. Pigs don't know what to eat. You know, like any animal. Humans eat stuff, and we can't escape microplastics, but we can stop producing so many of them. That's my point. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please subscribe if you want, like if you want, comment if you want. I don't care. But feel free to check out my website. Again, it's in the description. It will always be there. So my social medias. And hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.